Good day, good evening, good afternoon, or good morning to you guys. Um, I'm I'm humbled beyond the words humbled. We just finished our second book reading session. By that, I'm talking about The Empty Nest Creed, The Phoenixes. We've had two sessions now, book reading, and we are reading stories told and written by migrants in the United Kingdom. That's the book. It's called Hear Our Stories. I've been dying to do this book reading series for a while, but my health was interfering every time I got to start. I became unwell and then was not able to continue with it. But this time, it looks like we are rambling, we are carrying on with it. And if I say it is awesome, it's because I can't think of a better word to use. The outcomes of the two sessions we've had so far are beyond what I'd expected, and that's in benefits more than anything. To be in a group where people are open minded enough to hear each other, open minded enough to give each other time for self expression, and open minded enough to listen to perspectives that come out of the same story. I mean, we are reading stories together. Last week we read one story, and then everyone that was on the session had an opportunity to comment on it, to ask questions, to dissect the story, and an open discussion uh, came out of it. And today we did the same. Trust me, there are many ways of learning. Schooling, you can go to school and learn a lot. But from my experience, learning from real life stories has a certain oomph into it. It has a certain icing on the cake kind of impact in it. And to have then people listen to these stories and think on them, reflect on them, and then share, be bold enough, be inspired enough to actually verbalize their thoughts on the story, to verbalize their views on the story, to verbalize the light bulb moments they're getting from hearing these stories. um, it's exciting. I really am lost for words, but yeah, especially today's session. It was a very short story, literally 1.5 pages, but the sort of thoughts that were provoked were 2.5 hours worth of a discussion. There wasn't a single person that was on this session that didn't have something to say about the stories. This is how impactful book reading is turning out to be. Initially, when I came up with the idea, um, I literally hoped that at least one or two people could have an opportunity to say something. But what has happened is everybody has had an opportunity to say something. And beyond that, everybody has had an opportunity to listen and hear somebody out with an open mind. The defense mode that we normally operate from is out of the window. The judgmental um, uh, form of response that we normally have out of the window. The self-protection, the self-preservation mode that we normally listen in, out of the window. The scoring points mode that we normally communicate in, out of the window. The tit for tat kind of mindset that we normally communicate in, out of the window. And the gender gap that normally exists in these conversations, out of the window. We have men expressing themselves, reacting and responding to things from an open mind perspective. And when you hear somebody saying, I am excited to be getting to understand certain things more than before when I was in defense mode, can only be humbling. I'm really grateful and thankful that when I called out for empty nesters creed to be established, people responded to it, because I am seeing lives changing. I think my initial vision was that my life needed to change, and on my own trying to figure out where I needed to change was proving very difficult, even though I was very aware and acknowledging of the fact that my life needed to change. Certain things in my life needed to change if I was to move forward, if I was to move forward in a productive and progressive way, in a better than where I'm at way. My life needed to change. And I called out to start this, hoping that the people that would hop onto this ride would help me to establish that. But you know what? It's become more than that. Everybody that's joining in, everybody that's taking part is also getting something out of it. And trust me when I say this from the bottom of my heart, that is more than I expected, and in a very positive way. And I'm humbled, I'm thankful, I'm grateful, and I'm looking forward to our next book reading session. Which might be next week or the week after. We're still trying to decide whether next weekend we go out and meet in person again for the second time, or do we do another book reading session and then the following week we meet in person. If you're curious about this and you want to be part of it, direct message me. We have a daily WhatsApp group where we check in on each other. We share light bulb moments with each other. Um, we have some discussions on there because this is an international bunch. We have people from anywhere in the world: Africa, America, Jamaica, here in Europe. And we are looking at having anybody from anywhere who has access to the internet, who has access to WhatsApp, who has access to Zoom, who has access to Facebook, join us, because we're going to be using these web-based, internet-based apps or platforms to engage with each other. We can only grow if we share. We can only grow if we hear each other out. We can only grow if we allow ourselves to reflect and to have some reality checks with a bunch of sounding boards present, aiding these perspectives. Have a lovely evening. Love you always, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on our next Zoom session every Saturday. Bye.